Welcome back to Raw Politics. 3 days after Estonians went to the polls, coalition discussions started today to form a new government. The centre-right Reform Party took the most votes in the election on Sunday, but not enough for an outright majority. Well, they are now in negotiations with the runners-up, the previous ruling Centre Party. And this woman, Kaja Kallas, she's on track to become the Prime Minister. At 41, Kallas is a former lawyer and MEP, and she would become Estonia's first female Prime Minister. Right, we've been speaking to prominent women as part of our special series leading up to International Women's Day. And earlier today, I talked to Kaja Kallas from our studios here in Brussels. You had given an interview this week to the local media, and you were saying that during the campaign period, you were asked to be more masculine. Tell us about that.
That's true. There, of course, were a lot of advice, and there were times during the campaign when the polls didn't show us very good results, and of course there was a lot of pressure on me that I should do something differently. And so there were good people who gave advice, and it was a good. I mean, they meant well. They gave me advice like, wear trousers, cut your hair, be more aggressive, speak with a lower voice, all those things, which to me sounded like be more masculine. So I was wondering that it might be just that as the leaders of our country have been mostly male, then, people see me and think that there's something wrong with me because I'm different, but there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just from a different gender.
Yeah, are you surprised that this is even an issue, that people actually think that or say that to you in 2019 in this modern day and age?
Well, I think when I was in the European Parliament, then I didn't think about my gender at all. When I was in debates or speeches that I was asked to present, I didn't feel that there is a difference. But when we came back to Estonia, it was that I felt that I was also judged quite a lot for being not for being a woman, but being different in that sense, that the gender became an issue. So that was actually a bit surprise to me.
Do you think that quotas is the answer to this lack of gender parity, especially here at the Parliament?
I don't think the quotas is the answer. I think the Estonian election results shows that as well. I am here with no quota, and there is 29% of women elected to this parliament. So it's bigger than ever before. Of course, it's not 50%. So we are working towards that, but I still think that the quota, it actually is not for the benefit of women. If it is, voluntarily, like, for example, Norwegians agreed that for their boards, they just started to elect at least 40% women, but it was not the rule, as I understood. But it was a sort of agreement between the companies that we shall do this, and after some time it became the normality.
All right, I do want to ask you about Estonian politics, and you were saying that you're working on forming a coalition. Now, the far right, the Conservative People's Party, they did gain seats, 7 to 19 seats, that is, and that's getting a lot of headlines. Obviously here in Europe. What do you think is driving that? What drove that jump from 7 to 19 seats?
We have to analyze that, but I think the trend and the tendency is the same as in every other European country. We have to look what we have done wrong. There is this strong protest or feeling within our community that some people have been left behind from the success of Estonia. So we have to think about how we can make the success of Estonia the success of everybody. So that nobody feels left behind. But we are yet to analyze. I think the reasons are different for the electorate, but the bottom line is that they don't feel part of the big success of Estonia, I would say.
All right. Joining me here still with us is Dharmendra Kanani from Friends of Europe and British MEP Claire Moody, and also with us Shona Murray, our Brussels correspondent here. Shona, I'll start with you because earlier we were talking to Claire about quotas for women, and here we have Kaja Kallas saying she doesn't believe in quotas. Well, Claire does. Do you think it is effective to get to deal with the gender equality?
It's an unfortunate thing, but I think most people would say that in order to accelerate the presence of women in politics, in cabinet, wherever else, you have to start with something like a quota system. Maybe not, quotas within the cabinet, but at least within the political parties, so that there's enough women who are actually out there who can be voted in, and at least start that way. But it's great that she didn't have to use the quota system. However, she was told to lower her voice and be more aggressive.
Yeah, and wear pants or cut your hair short. And, I mean, why do you think that happens? Because she said that happened when she went back to Estonia. Yeah. Why is there such a big difference between what's happening here in Brussels, in Parliament, and national parliaments?
I mean, firstly, I want to congratulate Kaja for her election, and I'm really pleased to see that she's looking like becoming Prime Minister. And she also talked about this in the clip, about the fact that the model for leadership is a masculine model. It's in our domestic politics, whichever so many countries that we come from in the European Union, you have this male model, the way you dress, the way you look, the tone of your voice, when actually, frankly, all we should be focusing on is the content of your policies. And that should be on the basis of the decision-making. And if you've got to get over this additional hurdle of what you look like,
And you have the rise of the strong man as well. We talked about last week. At the same time, there is a rise of people actually calling for more authoritarian male figures.
Yeah, and on that, just a quick comment from you, Dharmendra, because in terms of content and policies, we were talking about the far right, and she was saying, well, the problem there is we need self-reflection. We need to know what we did wrong.
Absolutely.
And this is, I think, the key.
It's completely key for her, because, I mean, Estonia is a very successful country, but even there you see that actually there are communities who feel left behind. And I think that's an issue for across the EU, where there are communities who felt, post-financial crisis, have been left behind, and leaders haven't actually stepped up to the mark or even recognised the impact that has, that bites them in the bottom, that actually you get them moved to the right. But I do feel that, she should find different advisors. Congratulations to her, because she was one of our European young leaders. But actually, have different advisors, because what they're doing is perpetuating a norm.
Right, and it becomes a cycle.
Because they assume that people actually want to see that. But actually, if she had authenticity of voice and actually reaching out, that's going to matter much more than actually having a deeper voice and carrying herself like a man. That's so out of date.
All right.